9, 10. Bitch! Hey, what's up guys? So today, going over really quickly one of the most popular pieces, at least in my opinion, when it comes to gym equipment. It's the OG Nautilus Pullover. Alright, this is popularized by Dorian Yates, Mike Menser, this is mindchild of Arthur Jones. It's really the first big machine. It was actually known as the upper body squat, or the squat for the back, because it encompassed the entire musculature of the back in one swift stroke in 180 degrees of motion. Little known fact, at Westside Barbell, we had one of these for years, even before I was there, and it was very, very popular with all the benchers, helped to lock in the bar. If you have the ability to do any type of pullover, a dumbbell, a cable, a straight arm pull down, any of those type of motions where your arm is in a fixed plane, especially your humerus and your elbow and your wrist and your flexors don't have nothing to do with it, I highly encourage you to get on that. Find them, insert them into your auxiliaries, try to keep them in as long as possible. Change them, every 2 to 4 weeks, change them. All right, typically at Westside we change everything every 2 to 3 weeks. All right, but major back development piece. Now, there are two, at least in my opinion, primary ways of doing this. And the first one is what my first set was. It was a full range of motion. All right, now this full range of motion, all right, encompasses, upper thoracic and lower lat. Now, this cam is very aggressive. Now, the lower we get, the more difficult it is. So by doing a full range of motion, I sufficiently tax, all right, my whole back. However, that lower lat, because I'm going through multiple sections of back musculature, isn't fully getting tapped. That's why the down set comes into play. That down set, you'll notice, is only half the range of motion. Now, this half the range of motion is because when I reach out and I internally rotate, that is what's going to help isolate that lower thoracic to lower lat. All right, now if we moved on and say we started with a lat pull down for our back auxiliaries, it was heavy, you're going to sufficiently tax the upper lat, the thoracic lat, the rhomboid, and then when you go do something for your lower lat to really help lock the bar in, whether we're talking about a deadlift, a bench, a squat, even for all your Olympic lifters out there, cleans and snatches, keeping the bar close to the body, it has to go through a highly taxed musculature already. So to really isolate it, this is how we do it. This is how anatomy works. All right, so it's only half the range of motion. Now, I'm not saying that everyone out there should be doing it like this. I'm just saying, for me, for those who I've worked with, this pays dividends. All right, now that down set, only half the range of motion, because again, we're only targeting that low thoracic and that whole lower lat, is really initiated by a depression of the shoulder and just driving that elbow down. All right, now, it's very important to note that in this, you'll see as I go on in those reps, the more I go, and all of a sudden it gets to start being tough, I go slower. I really key in. That's where, especially for coaches, you really need to really drive your athlete to slow down and focus, because that's when the gains start to happen. That's when you start triggering, that's a new word, coin it. Triggering the nervous system to really key in and start adapting. All right, so disclaimer, there are many ways to skin the metaphorical cat. This is just one. This is one I found works for me, works for those I've worked with, whether it is powerlifters, Olympic lifters, CrossFitters, rugby players, football players, and swimmers. Swimmers really benefit from this, obviously, this stroke. So yeah, until next time, ciao for now.